Hi there, Titans, and welcome back to another Titan Academy video. Today we'll be talking about static sign documents, how to set it up from start to finish, adding fields to our sign project, writing conditional logic for some of our fields. We'll add some validation for some of our fields. Then we'll configure signers to determine who will be signing our document. And finally, we'll be clicking a button in Salesforce to send out our document to be signed. So as you can see in front of you, we have some fields that I've already added onto the canvas here or onto our document. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of more fields just to show you how easy this is. We just drag and drop any fields that we want, and notice there are a number of different field types for you. We have checkbox fields, which I'm using here, but we also have many different field types, and you can go through all these and use specific types of fields to make your document exactly how you'd like. I'm going to throw on a signature field as well here for my user to sign my document. And I will also add a signature date so we know exactly when this document was signed. Now I'm going to go ahead and write some conditional logic. And our conditional logic is going to be pretty simple. We're going to say when the end user fills out this field, I want to copy that data over to this field automatically. The first thing I'm going to do is give a tag so I know which input field to reference in my condition. And so I'm going to head over here to advanced and go to tag, and I'll write in name. And over here, I'm going to write business name. And this will just help me identify my different fields. Now I'm going to head over to the field that I'm triggering my condition based on, and I'm going to configure a condition to say if my name field is not empty, meaning it holds some value of any sort, then I want to set value from my name field to the business name. I'll go ahead and apply that. So again, when the name gets filled out, it's going to set the value from that name field to my business name field. Okay, my condition is all set up. Let's do a little bit of validation. I want this field to be required, so I'm going to head over to validation and click the is required. And let's just double check that our signature is required. It is, and we can even ensure a percentage that needs to be filled out in order for this to be considered a valid signature. All right, so we have our fields all set up, and we set up some conditional logic and some validation on our fields. Time to set up our signers. So we talked about document access in our previous video. We're going to do dynamic because we want this to be based on a Salesforce record. I'm going to click Salesforce configuration to decide which object I'm going to launch this sign project from. And in this case, it's going to be a contact in my system. And I will allow a Salesforce button. Note that we can also trigger this with an Apex or a flow. Some automation in Salesforce does not need to be a manual click of the button, but that's what we'll be showing today. I'm going to go ahead and click apply. And it will ask me for protection. In this case, I'm going to enable multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication. And I'll even configure the email quickly. And we'll say, please use this security code to access the document. And then let's say, here is the code for your document. And you can customize this fully. You can put this in HTML mode to really fine-tune exactly how you'd like this to look. And you can also add fields from your document onto the email over here. I'm going to go ahead and click apply, and let's configure our signers. So I'm just going to have one signer today. Note that you can have many signers, and you have a lot of different options for setting up these signers and when they will sign. In my case, it's going to be really simple. I'm going to be pulling in a contact to sign my document. And the way I'm going to know which contact will sign my document is I'll configure a condition to query that contact. And I just want the contact ID match the record ID of the record that I'm standing on in Salesforce. So I will be on a contact record in Salesforce, clicking a button, and I want that contact to be able to sign my document. Again, their contact ID will match the record ID of this document, which will be passed directly from the record that I'm on in Salesforce. Okay, I will also map fields here, and I'm going to map my contact's first name, I'll map my contact's last name, and I'll map my contact's email so that they can receive this document. Go ahead and apply and finish. And let's name my signer. I'll call them new employee. Now I need to assign my fields to a specific signer. If I had multiple signers, I could assign different fields to different signers, and they would only see the fields that are relevant for them to sign or to fill in. In my case, all these fields are for one signer, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on a field, click on select signer, and assign it to this new employee signer. Now I have a bunch of fields to do this with, so in order to speed up the process, I can click on it, hold on the control button, and select many fields at once, just like that, and I can assign them all to this signer. I'll go ahead and save. Looks like I'm missing something, and this will give me a good idea of what I haven't done yet, and I can see that I have not yet assigned all of my fields to a signer. Still not. Let's see what I'm missing. Oh, this field over here was not assigned, and there we go. Now we are all ready to trigger this from Salesforce. We just need to do one more thing, which is to allow this document to be triggered by a particular user in Salesforce. So I'm going to name this document so I can find it easily in my Salesforce, and we'll just call it W9 form, and I'll save again. And notice that now if I come to Salesforce and I try to trigger this ft.docgen, I don't see my document here on the list. I don't see my template. In order for me to see my template, I'm going to head over to the dashboard. I'll go to my account. I'll go to users, and I'll assign this document to this particular collaborator. Go to sign, W9, I'll allow them to sign and void. And if you have not done this yet, then you should apply DocGen settings to make sure that you're connected to our package in Salesforce. Now when I click on my FT DocGen, I can see my W9 form here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trigger this, and I'll show you what this looks like when I receive it. Okay, and here is my email that I got to request to sign. It says, hello, Justin Yaffe, from my contact in Salesforce here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the link to sign. And it's going to request that I enter my email for a verification code. I'll go ahead and enter that. I should be getting my verification code here soon. Here it is. Please use the following security codes to access. Here's the code for your document. This is the email that we actually edited together. And I can enter the code. And now here you have the document, which you can fill out and, of course, sign whenever you're ready. Let's just test out our conditional logic here. And this should copy over to our next field, just like that. And that's how it's done.